Hey guys, welcome back. This time, story writing and game design 3. Choose your own adventure. The adventure begins. Choose your own adventure stories are basically just a combination of a story and a game. This is possible by choices in the story leading to basically good or bad endings. In other words, the reader can lose. It's possible to lose by playing or reading one of these stories. They're typically told in the second person perspective. What's the second person perspective? Well, second person perspective is a point of view where the reader is a character in the story. In other words, the narrator can turn the reader into a character whose actions then can affect things in the story. And then the story then branches depending on the choices that the reader makes. And then the story is, honestly, I like these stories a lot. They're a lot more fun to read, and it's kind of more like a game. In other words, for example, you see a mysterious door in front of you. What do you do? Do you fearlessly open the door and walk through, or creep up to the door and listen to whatever is beyond it? Dun, dun, dun. Let's click on fearlessly. You fearlessly open the door, but behind it is a giant rabid chicken. Its massive flapping wings knock you down, and it pecks at you with its razor-sharp beak. You lose. So it's possible in a choose your own adventure story to lose or to win. This was, of course, was just a little example. What's your mission today? Well, today I want you to create a choose your own adventure of your own, and it can be about anything, as long as it's appropriate. Okay, please don't make anything too inappropriate. I think you guys should know what constitutes as that. But it can be about really anything that you want. You can write about almost anything. It could be science fiction, it could be fantasy, it could be a realistic story setting, it could be surreal, it could be mystery, it could be horror. Be creative and have fun doing it. Okay? You could even turn yourself into a shark and be in the perspective of a shark. I don't know. It could be weird. So, for some of you, I might have taught you this before, using Google Slides. And so you can use Google Slides again if you want to make your choose your own adventure. I think it is really the best way to do this, but it's also possible to do this in Seesaw. So I'll teach you how to do that in a quick tutorial after this. But you can easily make your story in Google Slides and then publish it to the web. For example, to use Google Slides, let's use this quick story I made as an example. You can go up, so say you've already made your story in Google Slides, you can go up to File, go down, down, down to Publish to the Web. Okay, then you click Publish to the Web and you click Publish. And it might ask you, okay, yes, you click okay, and it will make a link, okay? A big long link here. You're going to make sure you copy the whole thing with Control C. And then you want to go back to Seesaw. And then when you add response to the assignment, you can click link and simply paste the link. Click the check mark and then click the check mark again, and then you will have uploaded a Google Slides story. But I want to show you how to do this in Seesaw. Let me show you an example. Choose your own adventure, climate disaster. Here we go. This is all in Seesaw, by the way. You can do this completely in Seesaw. It's the year 2060. The Earth's climate has changed dramatically. Superstorms rampage throughout the tropics. Deserts have spread. Vast swaths of farmland have been lost. Enormous wildfires burn every single year. And a great migration has begun. A massive quantity of the Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets have melted, raising sea levels 10 meters as the coastal cities around the world begin to submerge. Hundreds of millions of people start to migrate inland. You live in Miami, Florida. See, I used you, second person. As the unstoppable ocean water slowly floods your neighborhood, you and your family must begin the migration. Where should you go? So you can click New Orleans or Oregon. Let's go to Oregon. I like Oregon. You go to Oregon. You decide to take your family to Oregon with all of your valuable things packed away. You join the long procession of cars leaving the drowning city. The trip is very slow going and you pass many broken down cars along the way. People look around hopelessly as they trudge through ankle-high water, trying to fix their vehicles. You see a young couple with kids crying in the back seat of their car. What do you do? Do you stop and help them or keep driving? Let's be nice and stop and help them, huh? You decide to stop and help the poor family. They look so distraught. Your strong sense of empathy compels you to do the right thing. People are extremely grateful as you open up your toolbox and lend a hand. It seems they have a flat tire, and it's a very hard time putting on the tire with the ocean water around their feet. A few minutes after you begin to help, you feel the ground begin to tremble slightly. You look up and see several large trucks passing, and you dismiss the shaking. After a few minutes later, the water all around your feet slowly begins to flow away. A minute later, you're walking on dry ground. People all around you begin cheering, and some even decide to turn around and drive back to Miami. Despite the cheering, you feel anxious and quickly finish helping the stuck car. As you get back in your car and begin to drive away, your anxiety grows, and you suddenly feel like something is horribly wrong. Let's click to continue. In your rear view mirror, you see a thin white line. Seconds later, you realize it's a huge wall of white tumbling water in the distance. It's a massive tsunami from the earthquake you felt earlier. Cars are swallowed up and tossed around like leaves behind you. You race to get away. You drive as fast as you can, swerving and careening around people and vehicles. But another car swerves into you, and you spin out of control. Your car faces the rushing wall of water and debris, and you are engulfed. You lose. Oh, try again. We can click try again. It'll take back to the first choice we made. Okay, so instead of stopping to help, let's maybe just keep driving, huh? See what happens. Your heart aches as you drive past the unfortunate people. There's a sense of urgency, and you feel you have no time to lose. You drive down the busy highway, and you feel a slight trembling, and are suddenly worried if there's a problem with your car. But you look around. You see cars slowing down everywhere. You realize it must be an earthquake. The trembling subsides, and you continue onwards. Suddenly, you see in your rearview mirror a thin line of white stretching across the horizon. Terror fills you as you realize the worst fears have come true. A massive tsunami is on your tail. You speed past stopped cars and people shouting and pointing. Suddenly, there's a glimmer of hope as you see some hills in the distance. You drive onwards toward the hills, but the giant wall of water and debris is catching up. Cars you only just passed are picked up and tumbled like pebbles behind you. Houses are ripped from their foundations as the massive wave smashes through them. People scream and pointlessly try to run as they are engulfed. The hill is close, and the road begins to slope upwards. You slam on the gas pedal and swerve to dodge people running for their lives. You climb 10, 20, 30 feet. Finally, the wave is stopped and flows past the hill, turning it into a tiny island. And the few people that made it to the hill with you look out at the devastation in disbelief. You survived. You win. I had at least 2 endings. And actually, I had up to 9 slides in this story. And I even had some pictures that I put in. And I had choices. A branching story. Okay, I actually had 3 different endings, even though you saw just 2. Now, let me show you how I made this. All right, to make your Choose Your Own Adventure within Seesaw, go to the assignment and click Add Response. Then you want to go to Drawing. So click Drawing. So I like to make a background for my story instead of just being blank, bright white. So let's go to the 3 dots and you click Background. Okay, now you want to start adding text boxes by clicking on the T on the left. And so, for example, you can add a title, And you can add the kind of the introduction or the body of your story to set the scene right here. And you can drag this around if you click off and then make this different sizes, okay? So usually the body you want it to be kind of big. So for example, once upon a time. So now I've set my story, set the scene of my story. I've kind of put it in second person perspective, and now I want to add two choices. Okay, so choice number one, and I can actually just copy and paste this little text box by Control C, Control V, and choice two. Okay, I can even just put an or right here too to make it really good. So choice one or choice two. So choice one, what should choice one be? Swim to a busy beach. Or what should choice two be? Choice two, I don't know. Try to eat some fish. Eat some fish. So there's two choices. All right. So to make a new page, you can click Add Page down here. Okay, but it's going to be blank again. I want to have it be the same as before. Well, I can go to background and I can do all this again, and I can add my titles, or instead I can copy the kind of template that I just made here, and I can copy it for every slide that I want to have in my story. So I've got my template written out here, and now I want to just copy this slide so I don't have to keep remaking it, right? So to do that, it's pretty easy. You go over to your slide here on the right, and you click these three dots, and I want to do duplicate page. Now I want to have at least 5 slides, at least, for my story to really be good and finished, okay? And have at least 2 possible endings, maybe more. It's up to you how detailed you want to go. But 5 is a decent amount of slides and kind of a little bit of branching just to show you how this works. But I want to make these 2 choices link. I want to link these 2 choices to, or so the second and the third slide, right here and right here. So how do I do that? Well, I'm going to click on this box, and I'm going to click the 3 dots, and I'm going to go to click on link. Now I can click link to page with this little drop down menu here, and I want this one to link to slide 2 or page 2. Okay, so there it is, page 2. Ta-da! And so now, ta-da, this is a link when you click on it within Seesaw that'll take you to here. And I want this one to branch and take me to slide 3, let's say. I click on the text box, I click on the 3 dots, and I click link. And then I click link to page, and I choose whichever page that I want it to go to. So 3. So this one goes to page 2, this one goes to page 3. Perfect. Now this choice again was swim to a busy beach. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so let's title this one Swim to a Busy Beach. And we can quickly write a story. You smell delicious blood, and you can make another branch now. Okay, so for example, we can make 2 choices again, and these can go to the 2 slides that we don't have yet. Okay, so for example, 4 and 5. So choice 1, what should we do? Okay, so we're on a busy beach, there's lots of tourists swimming, we smell delicious blood. Should we attack? Okay, let's quickly review the story and how it's organized here. So our first slide, we have the title, the story introduction. Once upon a time, deep in the ocean, the seas were calm. You are a shark. So there's our second person perspective. You are feeling hungry. What do you do? Do you swim to a busy beach? Or try to catch some fish? And we linked each of these choices to different slides. So swim to a busy beach is number 2. and try to catch some fish is number 3. It's a good idea as soon as you link one of the pages to a different page to title the page where it's going so you don't get confused. Okay, if your story gets complicated, you want to know where the links are going. You decide to swim around and try to catch some fish. You swim deep down and suddenly a tentacle grabs at you. A giant squid eats you. Oh no, we came to an ending that we lose, right? Okay, so you lose. Play again. Okay, so to turn this into a play again button, we want to go back to the last choice that we were at. So push the 3 dots, link in this page, and page 1. So we link back, and ta-da, we're back at the first choice. So let's choose swim to the busy beach. Okay, so we swim to the busy beach. You swim to a busy beach. There's lots of tourists swimming around and playing in the ocean. You smell delicious blood. Now these could be our last 2 slides if we're going to have 5 slides. I want you to have at least 5 slides and at least 2 endings. So for example, swim around. You decide to swim around. Your lovely shark fin sticks out of the water as you swim around. Beachgoers see the fin. They scream, and soon the beach and the water are completely empty. You don't get any food. And again, this can link back to the last choice. You wanted to do the last choice that you did. Now, our other slide. Attack! You smell delicious blood. It draws you in to shallow water. There's a large, meaty tourist leg oozing blood. You rush over and bite the leg. All right, so this could be, for example, maybe a good ending. So you get a large chunk of delicious tourist meat and you feel satisfied. Now, let me show you a few other things. You can change your design. For example, I can change the way any of my words look by clicking on the dots and going to Style. And I can change the font, okay, to newspaper, feather, script, comic, narrow, whatever you like. You can even use a different background, kind of like black background, clear background. There's lots of other things you can do. For example, you can always draw a picture. Here's my shark. Is it a whale? Maybe that's not how you want to do it. If you want to add pictures, though, it's possible. To add pictures, what you want to do is you want to go over to a new tab. Okay, you want to go to a completely new tab. And you can search in Google, for example, shark. And you can click on images. Okay, and here's pictures of sharks. To save this picture, you want to right click, or if you're just using your Chromebook with no mouse, you can hold down the Alt key and then click to open up the right click menu. And then you want to go to Save Image As, and then you can title your image, for example, Shark. Title it something you can easily find and click Save. And then it'll save to your Chromebook. And you can go back to Seesaw, and then to add that picture to your story, here's what you do. You want to click on the picture icon, and you want to click Upload. And then you want to find your picture that you saved. And now it may look a little different on a Chromebook, but once you click Upload, it should show you a list of your downloads of pictures or whatever you have. Okay, and so here's my shark. I click Open, and there's my shark in Seesaw. Of course, please only add appropriate pictures. Okay, nothing too gory or inappropriate or whatever. Something to enhance your story, basically, if you want to add pictures. Now I can click on my shark picture, click the 3 dots, I can send it to the back, and I can make it really big if I want. So, Shark Attack story, ta-da, with pictures. And now I have essentially a complete choose your own adventure story within Seesaw. You can save it by clicking on the check mark, If you want to work on it kind of, if you didn't quite finish within one sitting, or of course it takes kind of a while to make one of these, you can click draft and you can save it as a draft, come back to it later to work on it some more later. That's okay if it's taking too long. But if you want to continue it and finish it later too, then you want to click the green check mark once you're all the way done, okay? And it'll upload to Seesaw. And then me or anybody else can then click on it and play just by clicking on the links. Swim to a busy beach. Attack! Ah! It'd be cool if I added a few more pictures since I only have one. But of course, you can make your story about whatever you want. It could be fantasy, sci-fi, it could be shark attacks too. I don't really care. Just try to make a choose your own adventure story and have fun. I hope that made some sense to you guys. If you got confused at all, you can always go back in the video, have some fun trying to make a choose your own adventure within Seesaw. I'll see you next time.